Please start.
Okay. Good evening, everybody. Can we start?
Yeah, please start, Sharath.
A very good evening to all. I hope everyone is
Okay.
well and fine in the current pandemic situation. My name is Sharadut Acharya, presently working with FICCI IP division as a research intern, and on the behalf of FICCI, I would like to welcome you all for today's session on the topic intellectual property roles and challenges for the Internet of Things IoT startups. As you may be aware, with the objective of generating awareness amongst the stakeholders and increase the importance of intellectual property in the Indian economic ecosystem, FICCI is regularly organizing webinars on several topics related to IPR for the benefit of the stakeholders. FICCI is the voice of Indian businesses and industry, and through its IP division, FICCI is continuously working for raising and creating awareness about IP amongst the stakeholder. With this objective in mind and with a view to assist the government to fulfill the objective of generating awareness about the IP under the National IPR Policy 2016, the Cell for IPR Promotion and Management, the Department for Promotion of Industry and Internal Trade DIP, and FICCI has together launched 100 webinar series on IP in March 2020. Since its launch, it has been a great success. We are really very thankful to our participants for interesting us and to our speakers for sharing their knowledge with us. I again welcome you all to the 100 webinar series on IP titled Intellectual Property Roles and Challenges for the Internet of Things IoT Startups. Internet of Things IoT in simple terms refers to everyday objects connecting via the internet and connecting and talking to users, applications, and each other. There are several legal issues concerning IoT, such as data privacy and security, intellectual property, and consumer protection, as well as other legal issues such as corporate governance, labor benefits, tax, and others for the growing companies. The most common challenges are the patent infringement, as the IoT space is the convergence of multiple disparate technologies in a single device. Moving ahead, I would like to introduce our speaker, T. Senthil Shiva Subramaniam, for our today's session. Mr. Subramaniam is an academic veteran, researcher, mentor, Industry 4.0 specialist, steered the career of 19 plus years, including the 6 years in industry, with a proven competency as the head institute industrial policy program, currently working in the at the Sharda Group of Institution, Mathura, having dealt with state and national level projects of importance funded by Government of India agencies and other reputed agencies both in engineering and entrepreneurship sector. Mr. Subramaniam has worked in various research projects at IIT Kanpur and IIT Delhi for sponsored by DRDO, Ministry of Defense, the Boeing Inc. USA, and having filed a patent in hydrogen sensing. He is MSME certified trainer for industrial automation and robotics. He is selected as an national expert from India by Asian Productivity Council, Japan, and National Productivity Council, New Delhi, to execute the research project awarded on Industry 4.0. I welcome you, sir, and would like to hand over the session for your presentation. Over to you, sir.
Thank you so much for the nice introduction. And in fact, welcome you all to this today's webinar on Internet of Things, mainly concerned with the role of the intellectual property rights. And first of all, I would like to thank Vicky for giving me an opportunity to present this topic of today's era. And now I would like to be thankful to Mr. Divan Srivastav, who has given me the platform to discuss on the role of Internet of Things, role of IPR on Internet of Things. Friends, today we are in an era of Internet of Things. We are in an era of a digital era. To start with, today's webinar will be having the vision of Indian vision on digital technologies, IoT wave in India. Let us remember the vision of our Honorable Prime Minister of India, Shri Narendra Modi ji, that there is a need to use the technology more and innovate more. We live in a technology-driven era. Artificial intelligence, 3D technology, see how the world is undergoing the challenges and changes. This is an era of Internet of Things. And when you are innovating, you may face setbacks, but do not let those setbacks lower your moral or dampen your spirits. Let me play a short video which encapsulates the importance of digital India.
I dream of a digital India where government is open and governance is transparent. अब पढ़ाई होगी डिजिटल, अब बिजनेस होगा डिजिटल, स्वास्थ्य सेवाएं डिजिटल, सरकारी सुविधा डिजिटल, इंडिया हो रहा डिजिटल, अब इंडिया हो रहा डिजिटल, अब इंडिया हो रहा डिजिटल, इंडिया हो रहा डिजिटल, अब इंडिया हो रहा डिजिटल, अब इंडिया हो रहा डिजिटल, इंडिया हो रहा डिजिटल, अब इंडिया हो रहा डिजिटल। शासन सुलभ हो, प्रामाणिक हो, ईमानदार हो और जनता की भागीदारी हो, यही है डिजिटल इंडिया की कल्पना। और मुझे पूरा विश्वास है जिस तरह भारत में डिजिटल टेक्नोलॉजी बढ़ रही है, एक नए भविष्य, मजबूत भारत के भविष्य का बहुत बड़ा प्रयास हमने किया है, जो सफल होगा। बाले बाले अब नहीं, लाले बाले अब नहीं, वक्त गवाना अब नहीं, धुआं उड़ाना अब नहीं, इंडिया हो रहा डिजिटल, अब इंडिया हो रहा डिजिटल, अब इंडिया हो रहा डिजिटल।
So this is the major strength of Indian nation is the digital technology and digital India. And in fact, and today's presentation has been structured by the following manner. First, I'll be discussing on the overview of digital technologies and a quick overview of Internet of Things and what are the importance of intellectual property rights in Internet of Things sector and what are the benefits which we arrive out of the intellectual property rights on Internet of Things, and a snapshot of the ranking of IoT leaders in the patents. And finally, I'll be discussing on the case studies of the intellectual property rights on Internet of Things. Friends, today we are in an era of digital age. All the components and devices and equipments, machineries, starting from home to each and every industry and every part of life in today's life are connected digitally through the digital media. In fact, this decade, we will create and extend computing technologies to connect and enrich the lives of each and every person on the earth with the digital technologies which is available today. India has its major strength on the information technology, so that will pave the way for the Internet of Things to have a boom in the industry. Let me play a short video which will show that what is the importance of day-to-day life connecting digitally. So friends, we have seen that how the each and every part of our life is connected digitally, and it makes our life more safe, secure, and also more comfortability also, in fact. And here is a brief summary view overview of the Internet of Things. The worldwide Internet of Things market is poised to be a US $328 billion market by 2020. The IoT software capabilities and services market is poised to reach the US $262 billion, occupying the largest space in the Internet of Things market. As far as Indian nation is concerned, IoT market is a great wave which is poised to reach the US $15 billion by 2020, accounting for nearly 5% of the total global market, in fact. Now, let us begin this webinar by understanding the concept of Internet of Things. What do you mean by an Internet of Things? It is very simple to understand that all the devices, or you can say that any devices that are connected with an on and off switch to internet or any devices. You can add sensors to everything and employing the data analytics. It enables new level of efficiency and business refinement also in fact. And according to a study conducted by McKinsey Global Institute, IoT was identified as a rapidly advancing technological era with a huge market potential to create an economic impact of $2.7 trillion to $6.2 trillion annually by 2025 in fact. And these are the very simple devices where it is connected with the Internet of Things. Now in the world, there are 15 billion intelligent connecting devices are there that accounts for 35 trillion gigabytes of data, a huge transformational big data opportunities. Why do we want to go for Internet of Things? Because of increased profits and well improved or well defined quality of life, we must go for the Internet of Things in fact. Now Internet of Things is a combination of operational technology and a combination of information technology in fact. What are the essential technological elements of Internet of Things? It consists of embedded sensors, it is software, admin interface, electronics, wireless devices, security algorithm, and operating platforms, and finally the data protocols in fact. Now there are 7 layers of Internet of Things, starting from the layer of devices, sensor configuration, controllers, cloud infrastructure, big data, harvest and storage of thing data, reporting and mining and machine learning layer, custom apps built using things data, finally the transformational decision making based on an app and data in fact. Now why is this Internet of Things is emerging? This is because emerging because of the diverse and advanced electronic devices or chips which are available as commodity items, and then Internet is pervasive anywhere, and technology is in the form of everyday life in fact. Now let us understand what are the facts about the Internet of Things. Now Internet of Things, way back it started in 1990, a thing is born, the bare beginnings of the Internet of Things by John Romke and Simon Hackett created the world's first connecting devices, a toaster powered through the internet. In 1999, Internet of Things, Kevin Ashton coined the term Internet of Things and established the MIT's Auto ID Center, a global research network of academic laboratories, which is mainly focused on the RFID and the Internet of Things. Finally, Samsung had collaborated with Intel, Dell, Atmel, and then developing the standards for the Internet of Things. Apple launched the HomeKit in partnership with Philips, Osram, and then created a great niche in the Internet of Things market. Now, IoT has a huge market potential in different fields, especially in medical, fitness, wearables, industrial, automotive applications, and smart homes. In fact, IoT finds major applications in the industry 4.0 with the sensors and robotics embedded. Analytics of the operations can lead to the refinement in the efficiency and the yield. And IoT finds greater applications in the automotive applications also with the added sensors and cameras on the wheels and engines, occupant systems including the voice and Wi-Fi, and enable future of self-driving cars and automated highways in fact. Let me play a short video. So we have seen that how the Internet of Things, which is helping from in the automotive industry or automobile industry, starting from the assembly line to the production line and also on the trials also, in fact. The Internet of Things will help to increase the productivity and the efficiency of the engineering industry also. Similarly, IoT, as we have seen in the earlier video, that it helps in the day-to-day life in connecting all the devices and applications in the home automation, in fact. There are several challenges in the implementation of IoT are complex, giving the need to connect things to cloud, to manage, analyze data, and to integrate with the existing infrastructure also, in fact. Now, let us coming to the main part of this today's webinar. Why is IP important for the Internet of Things sector? Internet of Things is a wide phenomenon encompassing the diverse technologies from human to machine communication that involves radio frequency identification, location-based services also, lab-on-chip sensors, augmented reality, robotics, 3D printing, and the vehicle telematics. The common feature of all these technologies is that they combine objects with the embedded sensors, smart communication, and data transfer to wired and wireless networks. Intellectual property rights come into play as a legal mechanism which aims to insensitize and the creation of new technical solutions and products by allowing the IPR holders to execute third parties from using their inventions and creations for a certain time, in fact. Now, what are some of the more common patent law questions associated with the Internet of Things? How many platforms will be there for the governing the Internet of Things? Now, what kind of a platform will be there to use? And what are the technologies will be driving them? Other questions include whether or not there will be standard essential patents. Will we see that the development of new standard setting organizations, and will the standards essential patents will be governed by different obligations, the whole body of the patent law coming, and how we are going to handle the licensing and the patenting of the IoTs. Patents in IoT. What do you need to know them? We should know regarding the innovation and assessing the intellectual property rights and their exposures, due diligence, freedom to operate report. Once the exposure is identified, there are several mitigation techniques. There are such as insurances, licenses, patent pools, association agreements, contingency fee arrangements, IP glossary, protection policies, technology watch, etc. And in fact, FRAN license in the IoT world, mainly regarding the interconnectivity, are common. However, if there is no agreement is reached regarding the royalties, the risk of facing the problems like the well-known royalty stacking and the patent holder, among others, will not be avoided, in fact. Now, the IoT patents, what are the important considerations of the IoT patents? IoT includes multiple aspects, like it includes the software and business methods which are not patentable. Technical features involving the hardware components, chips, are patentable, in fact. Hardware, computers, smartphones, wearable devices, electronic objects also. Let me play a short video about the patent.
Welcome. Today we're going to get into a high-level overview of patenting IoT technology. That's Internet of Things technology. We're going to keep things pretty general. However, if you have specific questions or would like to request a free consultation about your specific company's needs, please visit turbopatent.com and click on the contact link on our website. Okay, so today we're going to cover some general topics: an overview of the industry, growth areas, why patenting IoT is important, challenges to patenting IoT, and what do you do if you need an IoT patent? Spoiler alert, TurboPatent can help with that. The Internet of Things market has grown quickly over the past half-decade and shows no indication of slowing. With more devices being connected to the Internet all the time, IoT has made an impact on everyone's lives, whether they're aware of it or not. Everyday items like refrigerators, thermostats, and wearable devices are now Internet connected, as well as cars, energy meters, industrial machines, the list goes on. The pervasiveness of IoT across industries is illustrated by the growth enabler and market of markets prediction that the global IoT market will grow to 457 billion by 2020. The research suggests that the top three subsectors will be smart cities, industrial IoT, and connected health. So why is IoT patenting important? IoT innovation has become a fierce battleground, and as demand for these types of connected solutions grows, so do the number of companies joining the market. IoT solutions for B2B applications make up the majority of the market growth, despite the greater visibility of connected consumer products like the Amazon Echo and Google Home. In a highly competitive space like this, differentiating your products or solutions from your competitors can be challenging. So when your company discovers a competitive advantage, it's essential to protect it from copycats and potential lawsuits. This is where patenting comes in. IoT patents can protect your company's technology and secure the interests of employees, stakeholders, and customers. Obtaining IoT patents can increase the value of your company, which is especially important for startups.
So just we have seen that the IoT patenting, importance of IoT patenting, and we can classify the IoT patents based on the hardware, infrastructure, sensors, power management, computing algorithm, application interface, and the networking, wired and wireless. Now, what are the benefits from IPR in the IoT sector? It can protect the technical solutions, patents, and utility models, protecting your original creation and copyrights, chips and microchips, production, layout, design, topography, circuits, and technological information also, in fact. This is how the patentable technical features involving the hardware are patentable, like hardware, like smartphones, wearable devices, etc. In fact, importance of the IPR to the successful evaluation of the IoT with a high economic impact. There has been an exponential growth of filing of patent applications pertaining to IoT. The worldwide data set for the IoT patents published date crossed 22,000 published patents, with China, USA, and Korea dominating the IoT market, and India is on the emerging field of patenting the IoTs, in fact, with a tremendous amount of patent filing by highly competitive market players such as Qualcomm, Google, Microsoft, among the others. IoT is very likely to become a battleground for patent war in times to come, in fact. This is an executive most important part of the IoT in India. There are around 66,000 IoT patents filed in India over a span of from 2009 to 2019. And over 80% of the IoT patents filed were related to the industry 4.0, fourth industry revolution. And among 80% of the IoT patents filed, over 40% of the IoT patents filed have been granted, in fact. 5,000 patents being filed over 2014 to 2019. And in fact, IoT patent find applications in the healthcare and automobile industry, home automations, smart electrical appliances, and then in fact 95% of the IoT patents related to hardware components with connectivity network and sensors being the leading sub-technologies, in fact. Now 70% of the IoT patents in India were filed from the MNCs and the international startups. 7% of the patents were filed by the Indian companies and startups, in fact. Now, this slide shows that the importance of the Internet of Things, which is expected to gather the massive scale globally with a trillion installed machine things and 75 billion connected consumer devices by 2025, in fact. Now, patents in IoT domain have witnessed a significant growth of over with 5,000 patents filed from 2014 to 2019, in fact. Now, over 40% of the IoT patents filed over the last decades have been granted, in fact. Now, IoT the post-COVID era the focus on the healthcare and hygiene applications, modernizing the healthcare, disasters prevention, manufacturing and the supply chain, and the public safety and the security also in fact. A boost in the IoT innovation in the post-COVID era will fuel the IoT patent filing in India in the coming years, especially in the healthcare industry to maintain its lead, automation to become the new normal, Indian manufacturing to boost patent filing, 5G and security related IoT patents to get a boost in fact. And this is how the ranking of the leading IoT patent holders by the number of equivalents in 2017, Samsung leading the top. And what kind of licensing challenges can companies expect? Some of the issues in the challenging licensing related to the fact that it is highly diffuse. There are many kinds of participants in the ecosystem, from the component manufacturers to OEM and to consumers in a wide variety of industries. So there may be complex issues about the licensing also. And this is a case study of the IPR of the IoT top companies and how their IP pans out. Google filed its first patent in 2006. The patent filing has been seen as an increasing trend ever since. And now many of the conclude this, many of the patent laws that were prevalent in the internet age will be a major concern for the Internet of Things technologies and needs to be further improvised for the development of the IoT system. IoT presents a tremendous potential for the inventors, policymakers, thus giving them the opportunity to make changes in the patent system. This will help in promoting the innovation and the growth in the IoT technologies, especially in India. Finally, I would like to thank the Federation of Indian Chamber of Commerce and Industry, Ministry of Commerce and Industry, SIPAM, for giving me the opportunity to discuss on the intellectual property rights on the Internet of Things. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir, for your insightful presentation and sharing knowledge with us. Moving forward, I would like to hand over the session to Anshika, who will take up the question answer session. Over to you, Anshika.
Thank you, Sharadwar. Hello, everyone. My name is Anshika, and I'm currently interning with Tiki. I'll be conducting the question and answer session. First of all, thank you, sir, for such an insightful and informative session. In the meanwhile, sir, we have some questions for you. So now I'll proceed with the question and answer session, a question and answer round. So my first question for you is, so what is the role of utility patents in IoT startups?
Yeah, in fact, IoT startups, the utility patents, could you please explain the question a little more elaboratively?
So I'll just pardon the question. What is in startups? What is the role of utility patent?
Utility patent is utility patent is the most important part of the patent in IoT. In fact, because it finds different applications. IoT finds different applications in different fields. So this is the most important aspect. Utility patent is the most aspect of the Internet of Things. In fact.
Okay, sir. Absolutely. The question is, why do you think the share of domestic patent in IoT sector is low, and what can be done to improve it?
Yeah, the domestic patent is low because of in fact the development of technologies. You can say that, and in fact there is a great opportunity for the IoT startups to build up the IoT patent filing. In fact, so we can see that there is an increase in the number of patent filings starting from 2014 to 2019. So there is a steep increase. Some like around 2014 to 2019, there are 5,000 patents has been filed. So we will see, definitely we will see there is an increase in the number of patent filing in the domestic market. In fact, we'll definitely see an increase in the patent filing.
Indeed, sir. So our next question is, what is the role of artificial intelligence in IoT startups?
Yeah, In fact, artificial intelligence is the most important aspect which connects each and every field digitally. So in fact, if you can say that all the machine learning algorithms are developed using the artificial intelligence. So definitely artificial intelligence will play a vital role in the Internet of Things also, in fact.
Indeed, sir. So my next question is, how industry academia collaboration can help the domestic patent increase?
Yeah, definitely that we can involve the academia. I believe that you are asking about the involvement of academia, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay, definitely. So because all the industry, so there is because the IoT research mainly promoted by the academia also, so we can involve the academia to get interface those with the industry IoT startups. So this will enhance the awareness, creating an awareness among the IoT startups in patent filing also, in fact. And secondly, the IoT, we have the expertise on from the academia experts also, that they can help us in facilitating the IoT startups to get filed their patents, in fact.
Oh, absolutely, sir. So the next question which I like to put up is, which synonyms must be included in the search strategy for the word IoT? And while we search for IoT based.
Could you please repeat the question again?
Sure, sir. So what I meant was, which synonyms must be included in search strategy for the word IoT while searching for IoT based
Searching for the IoT, in fact, we can define some keywords. You were talking about the keywords for patent searching, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so we can say that you can incorporate the hardware and you can incorporate the software part also, that will serve as a key search for the patent search, in fact.
Okay, sir. So the next question which I like to put forward is, so which IPC category, that is the International Patent Classification Code category, does IoT belong to?
I'm sorry that I don't have. This could be got from the Google search also, because I'm not aware of this question, in fact.
No problem, sir. Thank you. Sorry for the question, sir. The next, what are the opportunities in IPR related to IoT?
Yeah, there are tremendous opportunities on the IPR front of the Internet of Things, in fact, because in fact the Internet of Things, we are going to see a Internet of Things wave in India because of the digitalization and because of the informational technology strength of India. So there is a tremendous opportunity on the IPR aspect of the Internet of Things, in fact, and academia and the industry can be interfaced with that. They can play a vital role in enhancing the IPR of the Internet of Things, in fact. And like how this FICCI also conducting, FICCI in collaboration with the SIPAM has been conducting a lot of awareness programs on the digital technologies. So definitely this will help in enhancing the in the IPR front on the Internet of Things, and also on other essential technologies of Industry 4.0 also. And this is a great initiative of FICCI, have a collaboration with the SIPAM in organizing this 100 webinar series, which will pave the way for the the academicians, the industry experts, patent filing people, to get more aware about the Internet of Things, like IPR on the Internet of Things, in fact.
The next question which I'd like to put forward is, what is the risk assessment for IoT?
Risk assessment, in fact, is a very like if you take each and every field, there is always a risk factor is also always there. So risk factor, when we consider the risk assessment, we must be able to analyze, or we must be able to be very clear about the hardware, and we must be very clear about the software also. So these are the, in fact, the risk assessment factors which will enable us in patent filing of the IPR of the IoT, in fact.
Okay, sir. So the next question is, what commercialization strategies would you recommend for startups involved in IoT sector?
Yeah, commercialization is more important because, in fact, because this is a trade secret of each and every startup which is developing the IoT solutions. In fact, and there are different organizations are there for technology commercialization, like National Research Development Corporation (NRDC), which helps the which helps the industries also, which helps the academia also for the technology commercialization for the IPR. In fact, so and this will also provide a platform. NRDC, National Research Development Corporation, also provides a platform for different startups also, in fact, for technology commercialization of the IoT.
Sir, absolutely, sir. Sir, the next question which I would like to put forward is how might internet address affect the development and implementation of IoTs?
No, now today we are in an era of digital age, and India's major strength is on the information technology and the internet. So internet is pervasive, as I mentioned in my presentation also. So this will enhance the usage and the utility of the Internet of Things for the end users, in fact. So there is a great increase of the IoT startups, which you can see in the coming years because of the digitalization of the technologies in India.
Indeed, sir. Sir, the next question which I would like to put forward is, sir, what are the loopholes in compliance law that are related to IPR for startup of Internet of Things which may affect the businesses?
No, there are no loopholes in the in the law. In fact, the law is very having the very strict policy on the usage of the Internet of Things for IPR for the Internet of Things. In fact, so as I mentioned very clearly in the PPT also, PowerPoint presentation also, what are the things which comes under IoT domain? What are the hardware and what are the software that comes under the patenting? So there are no loopholes in the patent laws, in fact, for filing the patent for the Internet of Things startups, in fact.
Okay. Okay, sir. Sir, the next question which I would like to put forward is, sir, would you recommend startups to go for protection of their technology through patents or keeping it as a trade secret?
No, they must go for the patent for the IoT startups, because further to that, then they will be having their hold on the IoT startups, in fact. And also then further to that, then they can go for the technology commercialization also once the patent filing is being done, in fact. So I would recommend that the IoT startup should go for a patenting of these IoT startups. So this will enhance their their market value and market potential also, in fact. So this is more important because the confidentiality and also for the keeping their information very trade secret also, in fact.
Okay, indeed, sir. Absolutely, sir. Sir, so thank you so much, sir, for all the answers. And with this, sir, we conclude our question and answer session. It was indeed an enlightening session, and I hope that all the viewers who are watching it will benefit from the session. Thank you once again, sir, for taking out time from your busy schedule.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir. I'll also like to thank all the viewers who are watching it. Thank you, sir.
Thank you.